Okay, welcome back. So here I would like to do a little bit of a design here in the front, and this is going to teach you a little bit about the inset Boolean operation. Now in vanilla, I'm just going to let you know now, the inset Boolean in vanilla Blender makes you just want to shut down the software. It is the most annoying process. I'm going to show you an easier way. It does require an add-on, but I'll just show you, so maybe you'll consider getting it. But it's not super difficult, just annoying. So I want to add in an inset Boolean here, and you'll see exactly what it does when we actually add it in. But for now, let's add in a single vertex, and we're just going to position it in this area, something like this. Then I'm just going to extrude it, and we'll, I don't know, snap it to about here. Extrude again, just kind of make some arbitrary design. Extrude again. Extrude over and then extrude down, and we're just going to enclose the cutter by selecting all the verts and pressing F, and just extrude straight through, and now we can basically use this as our cutter. So unfortunately the inset Boolean is not easily accessible via the bool tool option. Now I personally use, when I'm not doing courses, I use the HardOps add-on, HardOps and Box Cutter. And these are premium add-ons. They're about $37 combined, but are super good for hard surface. We won't be using them in this course, but I do want to enable them real quick just to show you exactly the effect we're going for. So let me just enable these real quick, and okay, minimize that. So let me show you real quick exactly what these add-ons can do for us. So if I were to shift select this and then press Control minus, this does our usual difference Boolean. But in HardOps, we actually have an option here for inset. And if we click on that, you're going to see it doesn't do too much for us, but we now have this solidify modifier. And if I were to just decrease this and, I don't know, just hide these, you can kind of see what the inset Boolean does. It adds this little cool inset effect into the mesh. Now this is super useful because it's literally just a one click and it's done with these add-ons, but once again this is a vanilla course, so we want to teach the fundamentals. If you are using Box Cutter or HardOps, feel free to skip past this part where we show you the vanilla way. So let me just turn these guys off, and what I'm going to do is just show you how to do this the normal vanilla way. Okay, so to do this in vanilla, the first thing we want to do is take the piece that we're actually doing the Boolean from, in this case the base of the weapon. We're just going to press Shift D and then duplicate it, and then we can right click to leave it in place. And I'm just going to rename this guy to DUP for duplicate. That's just so I can refer to it later. We're going to need that. So on this duplicate object, with that selected, we want to add a Boolean modifier to this. Now since we duplicated it, we have a bunch of these modifiers here. It's not really a big deal. One cool add-on I use sometimes, if you go to Edit and then Preferences and search for Modifier, there's this thing for modifier tools here. Just click that, and now you have this option to kind of toggle the stack on and off. It's just pretty convenient. Okay, and now what we want to do is add on a Boolean modifier to this guy. So add modifier, Boolean, and we're going to change this operation to intersect. And basically what intersect does is it takes the similar area of the object you have the Boolean applied to and the one you're Booleaning from. So in this case, I'm going to use this picker tool and choose this cutter. And basically this just takes the common area between the two, which happens to be where this outline is. You can see this is the area that's actually being shared. And now what we want to do is add on, here it is, we're going to add on a solidify modifier. And you're going to see what this does in just a bit, but for now just add on that solidify modifier. And I usually choose the offset to be a value of 0. Change that to 0. And I also turn on even thickness so everything is nice and even, just as like a default setting really. And then I'm going to put the solidify above the Boolean so that way we don't have this, like, you can see how it's kind of extending out. I just want it to be right where that shared space is. And it's not going to really do anything, but if we adjust it, you can kind of see it is making a difference for now. Now it's kind of hard to see, so I'm actually going to select the main cutter, which I guess is, you can just click on it and it'll go to the other one. So just click on that, we're at the main cutter, and I'm going to change the view here under viewport display to bounds. So now we can actually see the piece we're insetting if we select it. You can kind of see the difference is changing here. We can see it replicated. Okay, so there's one more step here, and by the way, if you're like confused with this process, I totally get it. I don't even fully understand all the intricacies. I mean, I could look into it to fully get it. I don't care enough. I just use add-ons because this process is way too long. So if you just follow the steps, it'll just become muscle memory. So if it's confusing what we're doing, I promise you, don't worry about it. This is probably like the only thing that'll be confusing here. But anyways, we're going to go back to the base of the weapon here. Let me click on toggle stack. And then what we need to do is add in one more Boolean modifier. We're going to change it to difference, and then we're going to choose the duplicate object. We'll just scroll down in here until we find it. We're going to make the duplicate object our difference. Okay, so now all we need to do is go back to this duplicate piece right here, and we're just going to change this to bounds as well. And now check this out. There it is. That's all you have to do. And at this point you can just select the duplicate object, and in here just adjust the solidification to your liking, really. So quite an easy process, a little bit tedious, but I do think it adds in a cool little design there on the front. So I'm just going to move both of these to the cutters collection. Just get them out of the scene. And there we go. So now anytime we want to actually adjust the thickness here, we can just go back to that specific cutter. This one, actually it might even be better to just leave this outside of the cutters collection so we can just access it at any point in time. But yeah, you just select this piece with the solidify modifier and you can adjust this to whatever thickness you want it to be at any point in time. Just don't go too far in or it'll just kind of start glitching. About here should be okay. So yeah, that's about it. I'm actually just going to hide this one instead of moving it to the cutters, so H key to hide it. And that is about it. So I wanted to do a dedicated video for the Inset Boolean because it is an important functionality in hard surface, but usually you'll just end up using an add-on, so you don't have to deal with all of that duplication and whatnot. We'll only be doing a few of these in the course, so don't worry too much if this video was confusing. This is like one of the few designs we actually do this in.